first game of Bohemia Interactive was Operation Flashpoint Cold War Crisis, which released in 2001. The game was a tactical shooter and a very accurate battlefield simulator. The plot of the game based on local Cold War conflict between the United States and Soviet Union in 2085. Later, Bohemia and Codemasters released two expansion packs for Operation Flashpoint: Red Hammer, developed by Codemasters, and Resistance, developed by Bohemia Interactive. Later, in 2005, Bohemia Interactive and Codemasters released Operation Flashpoint Elite, which was Xbox port of original game. This was the last common project of Bohemia and Codemasters. While the Codemasters owned logo and trademark, Bohemia owned engine and most of the game content. In these conditions, Bohemia Interactive ceased their partnership with Codemasters, and later Bohemia re-released Operation Flashpoint with a new name, ArmA Cold War Assault, which now was a part of the new, big franchise. In April of 2005, Bohemia started development of the new game, which was a spiritual successor of Operation Flashpoint. Instead of naming new game Operation Flashpoint 2, they called it Armored Assault, or simply ArmA, because, as I said, Operation Flashpoint is a trademark of Codemasters. ArmA was released in 2007 worldwide. Gameplay was pretty much the same, but ArmA featured overhauled engine, improved graphics, physics, multiplayer, scripting capabilities, new units, vehicles and weapons. The game featured a new setting and new storyline as well. New multiplayer game mode called ArmA Warfare was introduced. That game mode blends FPS and RTS elements. Two sides fight for control of the map or destruction of the enemy base. Teams must capture cities to gain resources that can be channeled into manufacturing more weapons and units. ArmA received average reception when it's released, praised for the unique believability of its action, but criticized for its difficulty, complexity and bugs. The next big step for Bohemia Interactive was ArmA II, that released in 2009. Gameplay was similar to the first game of the series, but with more RTS elements. ArmA II is set primarily in a fictional Eastern European nation of Chernobyl. Plot of the game based on civil war conflict in this country. Now developers paid more attention to storyline and characters. Story was much more interesting and non-linear. In ArmA II there are 5 possible endings. ArmA II received generally positive reviews. The game has been praised for its realism, graphics, and the sheer scale of the game. However, as with the original Armed Assault, the game has received criticism for the number of bugs it contained on release and the quality of the AI. In 2010, expansion pack ArmA II Operation Arrowhead was released. ArmA II Operation Arrowhead is set in a fictional country of Takistan and takes place in the then future of summer in 2012, nearly 3 years after Chernobyl's conflict. Later, Bohemia released 3 expansion packs: ArmA II British Armed Forces, ArmA II Private Military Company, ArmA II Army of the Czech Republic. Bohemia Interactive announced the development of ArmA III in 2011. An alpha version of the game was released in the beginning of 2013, allowing players to experience the game during development, as well as assist in development by reporting bugs and giving feedback on their experience. The final version of ArmA III was launched on September 12 in 2013. ArmA III is set more than 25 years after the events of ArmA II in 2035. NATO forces deployed to islands of the Aegean Sea are trying to hold off a massive CSAT offensive from the east. As I said, ArmA III takes place on the Aegean islands of Altius and Stratus of Greece in the Mediterranean Sea. The islands feature photorealistic terrain and water environments. Altius is the largest official terrain in the ArmA series. Release of the ArmA III was much better than the release of the first two games of the series. Even alpha version of the game was much or less stable. Bohemia Interactive continues support of the ArmA III, providing content updates. For now they released Zeus DLC, cards, helicopters and marksman DLCs. In 2016, Bohemia will release a new tropical terrain for ArmA III, Tanoa Island. DayZ is an open-world survival game. The point of the game is to stay alive and healthy during the conditions of zombie apocalypse. Combined with ArmA gameplay, it is a mind-blowing experience. DayZ was simply the mod for ArmA II, developed by one of the employees of Bohemia Interactive, Dean Hall. Dean released his mod in April of 2012 and it quickly became very popular. Development of standalone version began in 2012. Standalone game was released on 16 December in 2013 in Steam Early Access. For now, the game is still in alpha. For now, Bohemia Interactive working hardly on the game. They're trying to get rid of old ArmA II engine, creating new Infusion engine, which hopefully gonna be released soon. Bohemia planning to release full version of DayZ in 2016. Can't wait!